What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. We had a freaking awesome day in the stock market today. If you're not in the chat room, you're probably like, what? How'd you have a good day in the stock market? The stock market was down bad today. Everything was selling off. There was pretty much nothing save gold, oil, tech. Everything was selling off. There was nothing that was holding up. And tech was pretty much, tech and growth stocks and IWM were both tanking, and we took full advantage of that. We probably had 5 different plays that were up over 200%. It was the kind of days where a lot of members made a whole lot of money. A lot of members doubled, tripled, quadrupled their account, made all-time gains in their trading career. So I'm super excited. I'm just super happy that everybody made such a good day today in the Discord chat room. Now, if you're not in the Discord chat room and you had a lot of longs, you're probably very sad. If you're looking at your long-term portfolio, you're probably very upset. And you're like, what the heck is going on? Why is everything in my portfolio going down? And I've gotten a lot of those DMs today. Well, everybody in our chat room were cheering. Everybody also was very sad. So, you gotta get yourself in a chat room. It was worth pretty money, and it's by far the best chat room around. I wouldn't just say that. So if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and stay tuned to learn more about the stock market and the crypto market. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about how to grow a small account. You guys know I had done a few challenges. I had a $1 challenge. I flipped it to 100 in about a week. I had a $100 challenge to 3,500. Did that in about 2 weeks or 10 days it was. I did a few of the small challenges in the chat room. So, all the links are down below. So I'll be talking to you guys about how do I approach a small challenge and kind of grow a small account. It doesn't have to be a challenge. I'll make it a challenge for me since I'm an experienced trader. So I'll do it that way. But for you, it's probably most likely going to be how do you grow a small account and what steps should you be taking to grow your small account. Now I'm going to be showing you 3 things that you need to do if you want to grow your small account. And you're going to hit the first things first. You need to stick to one strategy, right? So if you're starting a small account, you don't have a lot of money. So if you have a little bit of money, right, you're under the PDT rule. If you're in the US, if you're not in the US, whatever, you don't have the PDT rule, that's fine. But in the US, you have the PDT rule, which means you can only take 3-day trades every 5 trading days. Now, there's a way around that, and I have a whole video on how to get around the PDT rule. The link will be in the bio, or go search it on the channel. Or you'll most likely be on a cash account. If you have a small account, I recommend you switch it from a margin account to a cash account. That's the number one thing I think you should be doing. Now if you have a cash account and you have a small account on a cash account, you probably cannot take a lot of trades. We can't take too many trades. As a beginner, you're probably very excited. You want to get in a bunch of trades. You might be in the chat room and you might see me like today. I took I was taking 5, 6, 7 trades within an hour. And sure, they were all making money, but you can't really be doing that. You don't have the money to be affording to take so many day trades or so many trades in general. So you really need to be very specific on the trades you take, and that's why you need one strategy. You need a singular strategy. Now, my number one strategy that I recommend is using the double top or the double bottom strategy. A very simple, beginner-friendly strategy that has about nearly 80% win rate if you don't add any other indicators to it. Now, if you add indicators like the ones I recommend, 200 EMA, 20 EMA, or the VWAP in intraday time frame, you might add, that percent goes up to 85, even 90% accuracy, right? You add a couple of things like understanding price action, volume. It's really, really great. So I'm not gonna do a whole video on the double top or double bottom strategy. I made a video already a few months ago, so I'll also link that down below. So that's the number one thing you need to do. You need to pick a strategy. Now, you don't have to use the strategy that I recommend. You can use a different strategy. You can only trade bull flags. You can only trade support to resistance. You can only trade, any strategy that maybe it is working for you. Sure, do that as long as it's working. But you got to focus on only one. A lot of times I see traders that are trying to focus on too many strategies at once, and it just doesn't work out for you guys. For me, the double top, double bottom is really great. If you go to the TradingView free website, you can choose double bottom, or the double bottom. If we click on this, so you're gonna click here on indicators and you look up double. You can see double top and the double bottom. You can add that to your to your charts, and you actually draw it out for you, and it will help you. Now, and you gotta be careful because a lot of times these trading view indicators are like indicators, so they will show it to you after it is completed. So you do gotta keep an eye out for yourself, understanding where the bottom is, and this is on a daily time frame. We can see here how you played out on this 450 level down here. Now, if you zoom in more on a tighter time frame, you can see here double bottom, double top. See, it plays out very often. And if you zoom in even on the 30-minute time frame, again, double bottom, double top. It plays out very often, pretty much daily. And the reason why it does, because the double bottom or the double top is a simple strategy that plays off the supply and demand zones. It plays off support and resistance. It's very basic and very, very key. A lot of traders use it. It's an amazing strategy that I love to trade personally. And the main thing you want to look out for is to look at the signs of reversals before it happens, right? So you don't just analyze the bottom. Let's say, for example, you have this bottom here around 438 where we ended right here. So let's say tomorrow we got up and then we start going down. You don't just buy for 38. You're going to see a little bit of a relief bounce. You get in and, you try to ride it up. And the beautiful thing about this strategy is you have a set stop loss underneath this double bottom or double top, right? Either way it goes. You have a stop that you can actually pinpoint. And it takes me to our second tip that you need to be doing if you want to grow a small account. Second tip is understanding your risk to reward. Now, if you're just entering a trade, you don't know why, you don't have a plan, you most likely are going to have a terrible risk to reward. Why? Because you don't know where you have to set your stop losses. Whenever before you enter a trade, I want you to think, where am I going to close this trade? Even before you think about where am I going to take profits on this trade, I want you to analyze the chart, and I want you to enter that trade and think, okay, if my stop loss is, let's say, -2%, that means my first profit target has to be at least around 4%, right? That's a 1 to 2 risk to reward. That's a very minimum, so that if you just win 50% of your trades, you will still be green. And 1 through 3 is even better. 1 to 4 even better. Anything about 1 to 4 or more might be a little too risky, but you get the idea. The better the risk to reward, the more likelihood of you being profitable in the long term will be. Example, we go back to this double bottom example here, and I didn't even have this example ready. I just looked at it, and it popped up. So we go to this double bottom here on TradingView, or actually let's go to this double top since it's already drawn out for us, right? You see here, right? Let's say we're turning this 30-minute chart. We see this double top right here forming. You see that here's the 200 MA. You understand this is a point of resistance. We are rejected only once. Now we are retesting it again. What is the likelihood of us, going to reject it? Very high. So you set your stop loss above that. You understand there's a double top here, potential double top forming. You enter on the first red candle. Now your stop loss is going to be down here. You take a look, and this was the previous high around this 448. You put this as your first profit. Now you can see how this profit to loss makes a lot more sense. Here you have a real tight stop loss. Maybe I would call this, if we draw this out, let's say you enter around 450, also a mental number. You have a stop loss of about 0.25, and your potential gain is about the first gain, let me bring it down, it's about 0.45, 0.50 if you go off the top right there, as you guys can see. And in this case, it kept writing down, and would have been a much bigger win than just 0.50. But just that you saw, it was a 1 to 2, very simple and easy, using a very basic strategy and a very simple indicator. That's the number one strategy that I go after for you guys. Now my third tip, if you're trying to grow a small account, is you have to turn off your laptop. What do I mean by that? I mean that you want to trade. Usually, you want to take your trade, you want to set your orders, and you just don't want to look at it. You don't have to turn off your laptop. My recommendation is maybe just turn off your profit and losses. You don't want to look at how much money you're making. You don't want to look at how much money you're losing. Why? Because let's say you're up on some money. Let's say you took a $100 trade. Let's say we take a $100 call option we're up $115. We're like, wow, I made $15. I want to take that. You know, like you see, good, I'm gonna be good. Maybe you're 115, goes down to 107. You get very emotional about it. You're like, no, I don't want to lose any more gains. Let me close it out. Boom, you close it at 107. Just because you were scared, the technical analysis behind it didn't show that. The stock keeps going up, and eventually, you know, hits 150, 200. You missed a 200% gainer. You look at the technical analysis, you see that on the technical analysis side, there was no reason for you to get out, and you actually got out early. Your profit was much further. So that's why we need you to know for profit and losses. We need to minimize your emotions as much as possible. We need to get your emotions out of there. And it's really hard as a beginner, so don't feel bad if you did it. I did it. I still do it sometimes. I catch myself doing it. It's hard to not get your emotions involved. It's really, really hard. That's why the stock market is the way it is, because it's a game of emotion. That's why patterns work, because they play off the emotions. That's why indicators work. They play off the emotions. It's not a game of mathematics. It's not a game of Harvard students getting together, understanding PA ratios. Has nothing to do with that. It's a game of emotions. Then, you know, if you turn off your profit and loss, that will help a ton, as well as sizing. So you need to size in small. And you know, when you're first starting out, even if you have $10,000 saved up but you never traded, do not use that $10,000 to trade. I promise you, you're probably gonna lose it. You're gonna lose it. You're gonna hate stock trading after that. Start off small, learn the basic, learn the fundamentals, get your emotions right, and grow your from 100, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, and work your way up to 10,000. I didn't start with $10,000. Started very small, couple $1,000. You know, back in 2015, I want to say 2015, 2016. I started learning about the stock market 2014, 2015, 2016 is when I was trading a lot more, and I started with a couple $1,000. That's all I started with, and yes, I blew up my first account, but it's okay. We all do it, so please do not feel bad about it. And you know, you're gonna struggle, especially if you're trading options, right? You're gonna struggle because you're like, okay, I want to take profits at 30%, and it's a great spot to take profits, 30%. You're gonna close your position, and a lot of times you're gonna see your contract or stock run up much higher to 50-60%. So then for the next time, you're gonna be worried about like, hey, I don't want to miss those gains. I could double my account if I just held it. And that's when you get greedy. When you get greedy, you get burned. Understand that you're gonna have a point in time once your account is big enough where you can buy multiple contracts. When you could have bought 5 contracts, closed 4, kept 1 contract for free to keep on running, they would have secured you that 100, 200, 300% gain. So a lot of times what we do, or what I do, is even if I buy 100 contracts, I close maybe 80 out of 100 at 60% or less gain, and I'll just leave some free ones at 20. You know, I'll take some at more 100, and I'll just leave a few to keep running and running and running. Where even if they go right almost 100%, it doesn't matter because I made so much money on it already. You need to understand, as a smaller account, you gotta build up the small wins and keep your small losses tight. Now, if you're gonna trade options, it's a little more difficult in that regard because the percents are going to be bigger. They're going to be a little more funky because the options move based on the stock, but also based on the Greeks. And you understand all those on how that plays out. So for me, just have the right plan technically. Add the chart, understand where the plan is, where you stop, and where your profit targets are. Now, the percent wise on the options to me doesn't matter as much. That's why sometimes I might hold the minus 50% loss. If the stock chart still tells me that personally, I think it's still a good trade. So I won't close it. Now, that's just how I like to trade. There's a lot of traders out there that might just have a stop loss of 20%. And you know, if that works, sure, go ahead with it. I started learning trading shares. So I stick to just the chart and pretty much execute with options. Personally, that's what I do. I base all my plans and executions on the chart, about 99%. You know, maybe 1% fundamentally. If something crazy happen, I might change up my plan. But that's how I like to trade. Now, if you want to set it percent wise, go ahead, knock yourself out, set it percent wise. Just understand, if you're gonna have a stop loss of 20%, for me personally, you gotta have at least a win of 30%. So your wins should be averaging around 30, where your losses average around 20%. If you're gonna set a hard stop at a percent game. Also, you gotta understand that just every day you pretty much miss in the market, or time that you miss in the market, you're gonna feel like, wow, I just missed on this great opportunity. That, you know, there were so many trades today that could have gone my way. I'm so sad I missed it. Tomorrow I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna take a bunch of trades. Guys, almost every day, every week, every month, there's going to be a great and amazing day that a lot of people are like, wow, we made so much money today. That happens all the time. For example, today, we bank on it. There's going to be a DM me like, I wish I would trade today. I took the day off. And yes, it was an amazing day. I'm telling you, it was a freaking amazing day today. It was one of the better days this year. But I promise you there's going to be even better day. It's going to come at some point in my trading career. I always tell myself, wow, this was amazing. And then another few weeks later, wow, this day was amazing. Just like how the days are bad sometimes I have a bad day, which is very rare. You know me. It's very rare to have bad trades. But it does happen. It happens to everybody. I know on the Instagram, I'm always posting wins. Because overall, the wins always outweigh my losses. Or Market Watch, when I made an article, you guys can see how much profits I've made the past 5-6 years that I had while trading on the Market Watch article, which was super, super great. I'm talking to Bazinga now, potentially have an article posted on there too, which is going to be awesome. So these are my top 3 tips for you guys if you want to grow your small account. Keep those in mind. Have a plan, have a profit, keep your stop losses. And by that, I don't mean you have to have a hard stop loss, but you got to have a mental stop loss where you understand the risk is too much. I have to respect the levels. And you guys might hear me say this in the chat room a lot. I have to respect the levels. Even if I do think it could reverse and I could end up green on a trade, I have to respect the levels. Because if I don't respect them today, I'm not going to respect them the next day. I'm not going to respect them the next trades. And I'm eventually going to, lose my rules. And you trade based off your rules, based off the levels that you draw out. So you have to respect the levels. So if you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys want to learn more to trade in the stock market, the crypto market, make sure you feel free to check out our courses. We have a couple of courses and the links are below. If you learn more about the options, we have an options course. It's new. We're still working on it. So we're giving it out for a great discount. I appreciate you guys tuning in, watching the video. And as always,